You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Glad you can join me. Thank you for being here on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. Matt Patricia was fired today. He should have been fired. 13-29-1. I'm still wondering why Jim Caldwell was fired. Can someone tell me why Caldwell was fired? 36-28. 36-28. Matt Patricia lost more games than Caldwell. And we have to say this now. Bill Belichick's assistants are horrible. I'll say this. They're horrible when they become head coaches in the NFL. A lot of them have gone on to have success in the college ranks, such as a Nick Saban. You remember when Nick Saban took over the Miami Dolphins? And, that's all I got to say is, and then he went over to Alabama after he left the Dolphins because he knew the NFL, that just wasn't working out for him. I also read, though, that Nick Saban said that was one of the worst times of his life when he was coaching under Bill Belichick in Cleveland, the original Browns. You know, when the original Browns went to Baltimore and became the Ravens, they did not retain the services of Nick Saban. But just to throw out some names at you, Bill O'Brien wasn't that bad of a coach until the last two seasons, and maybe not even last year, because Houston got to the playoffs last year. They were a playoff team, got to the divisional round. I don't know what happened with him and DeAndre Hopkins, the beef there, and he ended up trading him for an old Sega Genesis cartridge. You know, I don't know what that was about, but that ultimately cost him his job, you know, with the spiraling out of control that the Houston Texans are. Even though they beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day, Bill O'Brien, he's a part of that Belichick coaching tree, and just has not done a great job as a head coach in the NFL. Romeo Crennel, who is now acting as coach, the interim coach for the Houston Texans, he has a bad track record as well. I've mentioned Nick Saban. Charlie Weis, do you guys remember Charlie Weis, head coach of Notre Dame? He didn't have that great of a success when he left Belichick and the Patriots. Eric Mangini, we know what happened when he went to the Jets. You know, no need to dwell on that. Josh McDaniels was bad when he left the Patriots. He ended up going back to the Patriots. So the Belichick coaching tree, outside of Bill Parcells, and I guess you can't even say that that's Belichick's coaching tree when you bring in Parcells, because Belichick was on Bill Parcells' staff winning those Super Bowls with the New York Giants. But Bill Belichick's his assistants that he has had work under him, they have been horrible head coaches in the NFL. Hey, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to the Facebook page and get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.